e4, c6, d4, d5, and white goes for the fantasy variation. By playing f3, we want to get our pawn into the center by going for e5. It looks like we're giving white a free pawn. D takes on e5. You can notice that this whole diagonal has been weakened pretty badly. One of the best moves in this position, it is queen b6. You know, e captures on d5, taking another free pawn. And we can simply continue with bishop to c5. White is simply gonna try to keep their knight by playing the move knight e2, which is actually gonna be leading to a first mate after bishop to f2 check. Only move for white, king to d2. And then black has checkmate in one move with queen to e3. You may be wondering, okay, but how about they go with the knight on the edge? So we have a move that is bishop captures on h3, doubling up white's pawns, and then we can throw in the check. White has a bit of a better move, which is king to e2. And now we cannot go queen e3 because the bishop covers that square, but we can simply continue with c takes on d5. Most likely we're gonna see a move like knight to c3. The pawn on d5, and here important to remember, if you ever reach this position, strong move, simply going bishop to d4, hitting the knight and also the e5 pawn, setting up another trap, because if white takes the poison pawn, black has a winning move. We can simply go queen b5, taking the enemy king from e2, and we're gonna be picking up d5 next on the very next move with a winning position. So what is actually a better move for white after bishop to d4? They could play f4, supporting e5, and after knight e7, king f3, we can eliminate the knight, doubling up white's pawns, followed by castle. Can continue with knight c6, knight f5. Couple of moves could also be played besides d takes on e5, and in this position white could also go for e takes on d5. Many playable moves for black, but I think the easiest one is just to go for queen h4, with the simple idea that after the move g3, we are taking the pawn from d4, and we simply get a very nice endgame after queen takes d4, pawn takes d4. Just to briefly mention, black would continue with knight f6. On d takes, we are always happy to take with a knight, and yes, we do have the isolated pawn in that position, but black is very active and these pawns are looking really clumsy here. Another move that white could go for here is bishop to e3. Most likely after d e4, white is simply gonna go f takes e4, and then we have queen to h4 check, which is another very nice trap, simply picking up the e4 pawn, and black is simply better thanks to the extra pawn in this position. I think it's good to mention, my viewers, if white goes for knight to c3, we have d takes on e4. Most common move, f takes e4, is simply losing. After e d4, black is winning free pawn, and we have a much better position. We can play c5 and knight c6 on the very next move, continue developing, and black should have no problem. So it would be a better move for them to meet d takes on e4 with d takes on e5. After queen d1, knight takes on d1, and now I like the move knight to d7, letting white to take, because here black would be very comfortable playing against the isolated pawn. And in case white tries the, let's say, trickier approach with f4, trying to cover e5, we have this very strong move f6, because we're lacking a little bit of space, and after this move, white is pretty much forced to go pawn takes on e6, allowing knight takes on f6, and black is very comfortable. Can continue with knight b6, bishop f5, bishop c5, can castle either way, and black has a very easy game. And additionally to this line, you may be wondering, but okay, what if after f6, white is trying to be more aggressive and plays e6, hitting our knight? We're going to be playing knight c5. Now, only move for white to protect the pawn is to advance with f5. We can go g6. And let's say if white takes, we're going to be taking back, and the pawn is simply going to be lost on e6. And in case they try to keep these pawns together, we have another undermining move, which is h5. Now, if they take the free pawn, we take on g4, win the one on e6. Slowly, we will pick up g6, and black is already much better. And the problem for white in this variation is that now h3 is not really a good move because of hg, and then they are unable to recapture because of the pin along the h file. So black would simply be winning here, flattening to take on f5, and then picking up white's pawns one by one.